Welcome to the install video for the Desert Does It seat jackers. This is for the Gen 3 Tacoma, featuring an 1.25 inch of lift for your seat. Tools you'll need for this particular project is a 14 and a 15 millimeter socket with a socket wrench and a torque wrench. We start this process with loosening both front bolts that attach the seat rail to the truck itself. So here I loosened both bolts a little bit, and then you can grab your impact or your favorite Ugga Dugga and completely remove both of the front bolts that attach your seat to your truck. Moving to the rear of the seat, you want to remove the vanity covers for your seat rails, and then loosen and remove both of these two bolts in the rear. With all four of the bolts removed, take your seats and move it behind to reveal an area for your seat jacker hardware. At this step, you want to place your seat jackers in their position and reuse the factory 14 millimeter bolts. Here I'm just going to run those in just to check for fitment, and then I will back those out using the provided Loctite in your install kit. Locate both of your 14 millimeter bolts and apply to both. Here I am using that torque wrench to complete that process. Manufacturer specs indicate a setting of 28 foot-pounds of torque, and it is important to go until you hear that click, and then you move on to your next bolt. Here you want to realign your seats onto your seat jackers. There is a post that will fit behind your bolt hole, and I recommend in the rear of your seat just to lightly reapply your bolts so that way your seat remains in alignment for the duration of your install. With your seat moved back to the rear, this now gives you that access to run your bolts through the top of your seat rails and your new seat jackers. After a preliminary dry fit to make sure that your 15 millimeter bolts fit correctly, back those out, grab your Loctite, and reapply your bolts in their position. As always, you want to finger tighten so that you don't strip out your bolt. And just like your chassis bolts, you also want to take that torque wrench all the way down to that 28 foot-pounds of torque for each of the 6 bolts you will do on your install. Word of note, if you are new to using torque wrenches like I am, there's usually a setting somewhere on your wrench where you can lock where you want your setting to be. So be sure to look at that before you begin. With all 4 of your front bolts Securely fastened and torqued to spec, you can now move your seat up forward to give you access to the rear. At this point, you can grab the remaining Loctites and apply those to both of your rear 14mm bolts. And again, you want to finger tighten, and then finish with your torque wrench to your 28 foot-pounds of torque. When you have successfully torqued both of your rear bolts, you can move your seat back to your preferred position, and your job is complete.